Welcome back. You're watching News Centre. Tamil Nadu and Kerala governments have moved the Supreme Court against their governors for delaying assent to bills cleared by the legislature. The Supreme Court questioned Tamil Nadu governor's delay in approving bills that have been pending since January 2020. The Supreme Court has put a notice on the governor and will wait and see how he responds with the repassed bills. However, the court has also issued a notice to Kerala governor seeking a response from him before the next date of hearing on the 24th of November. To take this forward, I'm now joined by Senior Advocate P. Wilson. He's also a Rajya Sabha MP from the DMK. Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Mr. Wilson. Let me begin by asking you your plea before the Supreme Court and why did it become absolutely critical for the state government to approach the Supreme Court for relief?
See, we had approached the Supreme Court seeking for relief that the governor as not taking any action against the bills that has been legislated by the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly and that is pending for about more than 3 years. And not only with regard to the bills, but also with regard to the appointments to the Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission. Apart from that, he is not taking any decision on the remission of sentences. The prisoners who have been serving in various prisons because of their conduct when we wanted to remit the sentences, that decision also is not taking on the files that has been circulated to him. And apart from that, the sanction to prosecute the erstwhile ministers, so that file is also pending with him. So we came to the Honorable Supreme Court saying that, look, the governor is not discharging his constitutional functions. And therefore, the Honorable Supreme Court was gracious enough to entertain our plea, and the Honorable Chief Justice of India was pleased to order notice on 10th of November. After he ordered notice, the governor thereafter he withheld the assent in respect of 10 bills. And he returned back the file. There was no reasons why he has withheld the bills, why he has withheld the assent to these bills. In respect of 2 bills, he has reserved for the consideration of Honorable President of India. So the 10 bills which was returned back with an endorsement that he is withholding the assent, that was again repassed and retabled and reenacted, and this was sent back to the governor on 18th of November 2023. So now the governor has to look into the bills which has been repassed and reenacted and resent by the assembly.
Right. Mr. Wilson, I'd like to ask you, what does the precedent say in matters like these? Because the plea is not just from Tamil Nadu, it is from Punjab, it is from Kerala as well. They have filed similar pleas before the Supreme Court. And one critical question that comes across is whether the governor can withhold assent on a bill without sending it back to the Assembly. Do you think that this is the crux of the matter which will require consideration and clarification? And is there any precedent to support your argument?
See, the matter is pending before the court. What we have, the statement we have made before the court is that only 3 options are available to the governor. One is he can give his assent. Number 2 is withhold his assent. And number 3 is he can send for the consideration of the president. Now, so far as there is a proviso to Article 200, which says that if the governor returns the file, asking for certain clarifications or suggesting for any amendment, and if the assembly accepts that suggestions or overrules that suggestions and send back the bill back to the governor, then the governor had no other option and he cannot withhold his assent therefrom. That's what Article 200 proviso says. So therefore, in this case, when he has withheld his assent and when he has sent back the file with the message that he is withhold, and here what the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly has done is that they have repassed and reenacted and they have sent it again. So that is a compliance with Article 200 proviso. So that was the submissions we made before the court today. And with regard to the other states are concerned, the same problems are faced by the other states. In fact, Honorable Supreme Court, the Honorable Chief Justice Bench in Telangana's case has clearly underlined that the Article 200 proviso, which uses the word as soon as possible. So once the bill is returned and once the bill requires a mandate that the governor shall take decision as soon as possible, therefore the question that now arises before the Honorable Supreme Court is, how long can the governor take for giving his assent, either at the first instance and even after the bill has been re-enacted and resent by the Assembly. So this issue is now under consideration before the Supreme Court. That is what today proceedings have taken place.
Right. Mr. Wilson, you really helped us understand the crux of the matter. But what we'd also like to ask you is, how has the working of the state government been impacted with the governor withholding assent for an undefined period of time?
Yeah, our case, if you see our pleadings before the Honorable Supreme Court, our case before the Supreme Court is that the entire government machinery, because of the non-cooperation of the Honorable Governor, is coming to a standstill. Why we have implemented the Home Ministry is that the Union of India has the mandate to see that the state function in accordance with the Constitution. Now, if you see when the governor, who is a nominee of the central government and who is appointed by the central government, if he takes a confrontational attitude and he is going to sit over the files, imagine welfare measures for the people of this state. There are about 7.5 crores of people in Tamil Nadu. And if the governor takes a confrontational attitude or a position, then every bill, if he is not going to give assent immediately, or he is going to sit over the bill endlessly, then how can these welfare measures be implemented, number one. Number two, the governor cannot arm twist the legislature. The governor may be an executive head, but when it comes to legislature, the will of the people should prevail. If the will of the people, which is in the form of a bill, is sent to the governor, then the governor should respect, because after all, who are the representatives of the people? The elected MLAs, the member of Legislative Assembly, they are the representatives of the people. They are espousing the cause of the people. So when they come to the Assembly, they are only espousing the cause of the people. So therefore, these are all, that is what we have stated in our petition before the Supreme Court. And therefore, when the will of the people is exhibited by way of a bill, then the governor has to respect that bill. And the only option which the governor can exercise in these types of bills is that he has to, first of all, get the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. And with the aid and advice of Council of Ministers, he has to take a decision. Even for withholding bill also, he has to send it back to the Assembly. And in which case, here he has done it.
Right.
So these are all the issues that are pending before consideration before the Honorable Supreme Court.
Right. My final question, sir. What happens now on the next date of hearing? And if he were to request you to once again sum up the relief that you're expecting, and why is the clarification or clarity needed from the Supreme Court in matters like these, and what kind of message are you hoping for? What kind of clarity are you hoping for?
Yeah. Now, see, we are not the only state who have approached the Honorable Supreme Court. It is Punjab who had come before the Honorable Supreme Court. Then the state of Kerala has come, Telangana has come. So one by one, the states are now coming before the court with the very same problem. This is not an ordinary issue. So therefore, we always, the constitutional highest court, namely the Supreme Court of India, has to, clarify the position, because when constitutional debates were conducted, when the constitution was framed, the Constituent Assembly felt that why should we give a time limit? There was originally a 6 weeks time limit. The president powers in 91 proviso, old constitution, draft constitution, fixed the time limit as 6 weeks. But Honorable B.R. Ambedkar, he felt that why should we give this 6 weeks time? Let it be as soon as possible. He thought with a bona fide hope that let the President office clear this bill before the 6 weeks. Why should we give an upper limit of 6 weeks? So therefore, the intention of the members of the Constituent Assembly was that as soon as the bill comes, it is actually the will of the people. We have to immediately respect that and take decisions on it. So that was the intention why they removed that 6 weeks cap. So therefore, now that 6 weeks is not there, as soon as possible is now interpreted as long as possible by the governors. That is why now we have come to the Supreme Court seeking for the relief.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Wilson, for joining us on the program, explaining us why the state of Tamil Nadu has moved the Supreme Court, seeking clarity on the timeline within which a governor has to assent to a bill. Moving on, Foxconn, Dell, HP